Across every generation, there comes a moment when silence can no longer be mistaken for peace, when endurance can no longer be demanded without restoration, and when a people must decide whether unity is merely a word or a sacred responsibility. Today, the chosen collective enters such a moment. There are those among us whose personal lives have been disturbed, whose professional paths have been obstructed, whose reputations have been wounded, whose opportunities have been unjustly delayed, and whose sense of purpose has been tested by manipulation, sabotage, coercion, and forced misalignment. Yet no attack possesses the authority to permanently erase an appointed destiny. No act of interference can determine the final chapter of a life rooted in truth. And no member of the chosen collective shall be abandoned to carry the burden, guilt, or consequences of another person's wrongdoing. From the office of the chosen leader comes a solemn declaration of collective protection, ethical accountability, and organized restoration. The Collective Restoration, Protection, and Instant Accountability Decree. Decree number 2026 Tnti 1444. Its sacred code is 144, 24, 6, and 9. 144 represents the collective standing as one. 24 represents immediate attention, protection, and accountability without unnecessary delay. 6 represents the restoration of safety, truth, stability, reputation, opportunity, and alignment. 9 represents completion, the ending of destructive cycles and the return of the affected to purpose. This decree declares that an attack against one is an attack against all. But the response of all shall not be vengeance. It shall be truth. It shall be discipline. It shall be lawful protection. It shall be compassionate restoration. It shall be accountability governed by wisdom and nonviolence. Tonight, the chosen collective is called to listen, not merely to the proclamation of a decree, but to the deeper responsibility it places upon every member, every leader, and every institution entrusted with the protection of human dignity. Delivering this official Statesman Address is the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of Tnti Initiative, the chosen leader and divine shepherd of the 144,000, His Divine One, Sébastianus Christiani Alvérius. The time for abandonment is over. The work of restoration begins. The collective stands together. The truth shall be preserved. Responsibility shall remain with its proper source. And what was intended to silence, delay, or destroy the appointed shall not possess the final word.
My beloved chosen collective, I come before you today with a message that is both solemn and necessary. It is a message born from the recognition that there are wounds among us that cannot continue to be ignored. There are members of this collective who have experienced disruption in our personal lives, obstruction in their professional lives, manipulation within their closest relationships, interference within their opportunities, and calculated attempts to distance them from their confidence, stability, purpose, and rightful direction. Some have been harmed loudly. Others have been harmed quietly. Some have endured visible betrayal. Others have carried invisible consequences that no one around them fully understand. Some have watched doors close without explanation. Some have witnessed their reputation questioned, their labor diminished, their resources disturbed, their relationships manipulated, or their progress delayed by forces determined to benefit from their confusion. And some have been forced to explain the pain of a situation to people who were never willing to examine the conduct that caused it. So today, I say to every member who has experienced such disruption, you are seen. You are not weak because the burden affected you. You are not worthy or unworthy because the attack delayed you. I said again, you are not unworthy because the attack delayed you. You are not spiritually inferior because you required time to recover. You are not permanently disqualified because another person attempted to interfere with your path. And you are not required to carry the consequences of conduct that did not originate within you. This is why I have proclaimed the collective restoration, protection, and instant accountability decree. Now, this decree is not a theatrical document. It is not an ornament of authority. It is not a symbolic statement created merely to sound powerful. It is a declaration of principle, responsibility, and collective duty. It exists because a community that celebrates purpose must also protect the people who are attempting to fulfill it. A collective that speaks about alignment must be prepared to respond when alignment is deliberately disturbed. A movement that teaches sovereignty must never become indifferent when one of its members are manipulated, exploited, destabilized, or pushed into unnecessary suffering. And a people who declare themselves united must demonstrate that unity precisely when one among them is wounded. My beloved collective, unity cannot be measured only by how we gather in moments of celebration. Unity is measured by what we do when someone is struggling. It is measured by whether we investigate before we judge. It is measured by whether we restore instead of discard. It is measured by whether we protect truth when rumor becomes convenient. It is measured by whether we stand beside the wounded without turning their pain into entertainment. It is measured by whether we remain disciplined when anger would be easier. And it is measured by whether we preserve justice without becoming what we claim to oppose. The central declaration of this decree is direct. An attack against one is an attack against all. I want the meaning of that statement to be clearly understood to all of you. It does not mean that every disagreement is warfare. It does not mean that criticism is an attack. It does not mean that accountability applied to us is persecution. It does not mean that any member may make an accusation and automatically command the anger of the entire collective. It does not mean that we abandon evidence, due process, proportion, or lawful responsibility. It means that when a member is credibly harmed, the consequences do not belong to that member alone. When someone's housing is destabilized, their family may suffer. When someone's employment is sabotaged, their dependents may suffer. When someone's reputation is unjustly damaged, their mission may suffer. When someone's confidence is systematically attacked, their ability to serve may also suffer. When someone is isolated from support, the entire community loses the contribution that person might otherwise have made. Therefore, an attack against one becomes a concern for all because the damage can spread beyond the original target. We are interconnected through responsibility. We are not called to collective vengeance. We are called to collective awareness. We are not called to destroy another person in the name of protecting our own. We are called to establish truth, safety, boundaries, restoration, and accountability. We are not called to become a mob. We're called to become a disciplined body. That distinction is essential because an undisciplined community can become as dangerous as the harm it claims to resist. A wounded people can be manipulated into cruelty. A frightened people can mistake suspicion for discernment. And angry people can mistake revenge for justice. And a spiritually proud people can convince themselves that any action is permissible because they believe their cause is righteous. I reject that path. The chosen collective must not become a refuge for unchecked accusation, spiritual intimidation, or retaliatory behavior. Our authority must be morally restrained. Our discernment must be tested. Our findings must be supported. Our remedies must be proportionate. And our actions must remain aligned with truth, nonviolence, human dignity, and applicable law. This decree therefore protects two sacred interests at once. It protects the affected member from abandonment, and it protects the accused from unverified condemnation. Both protections matter. Because justice that ignores the victim is incomplete, but justice that ignores truth is also incomplete. The decree establishes that any member who has suffered forced misalignment or deliberate disruption shall be entitled to an organized effort toward being made whole again. To be made whole does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It does not mean erasing memory. It does not mean forcing forgiveness before a person is ready. It does not mean sending the wounded back into the same harmful environment and calling that reconciliation. To be made whole means restoring, as far as reasonably possible, what was unjustly damaged. It means securing immediate safety. It means correcting false records. It means restoring wrongfully denied opportunities. It means addressing financial injury. It means repairing professional standing. It means supporting emotional and psychological recovery. It means helping the member recover confidence, structure, and direction. It means replacing what cannot be returned. It means acknowledging what cannot be repaired. And it means ensuring that the person is not abandoned simply because complete restoration may require time. There are harms that can be reversed quickly. A false statement can be corrected. An unauthorized restriction can be lifted. A suspended opportunity can be reinstated. Property can sometimes be returned. Access can sometimes be restored. But there are other harms that are more delicate, you see. Time cannot always be returned. Trust cannot always be reconstructed. A missed season of life cannot always be recreated. A person who spent years surviving manipulation cannot be commanded to recover overnight. And a calling delayed by sabotage may require new doors rather than the reopening of old ones. Now, this decree recognizes that restoration must be intelligent. It must be personal. It must be practical. It must be patient. And it must never reduce the affected member to a file, a case number, or a public symbol. We are dealing with human lives here. We are dealing with people who may have been betrayed by someone they loved. We're dealing with people who may have been undermined by institutions they trusted. We're dealing with people who may have lost sleep, income, opportunities, relationships, confidence, health, or years of momentum. We must not speak of restoration casually. Restoration requires resources. It requires trained people. It requires confidentiality. It requires evidence preservation. It requires legal and professional support. It requires emotional intelligence. It requires courage. And sometimes, restoration requires us to admit that systems within our own community failed to respond early enough. That admission must not frighten us, though. Any institution that cannot examine itself will eventually become dangerous. Any leadership structure that refuses correction will eventually lose moral authority. Any spiritual movement that protects its image more fiercely than it protects people will eventually betray its own purpose. Therefore, this decree is also a standard for leadership. No title shall place anyone beyond review. No relationship shall place anyone beyond accountability. No rank shall silence a credible report. No spiritual claim shall substitute for evidence. No leader shall invoke sacred language to control another person. No member shall be told to tolerate abuse in the name of loyalty. No one shall be asked to remain in danger merely to preserve appearances. And no institution shall use unity as an excuse to suppress truth. Unity without truth is conformity. Peace without accountability is silence. Forgiveness without responsibility can become permission. And spirituality without ethical restraint can become manipulation. I will not allow these distortions to define the chosen collective. I'll say it again. I will not allow these distortions to define the chosen collective anywhere on earth and the new earth at large. The decree also establishes the instant 24 karma rule. Now, this phrase must be understood with seriousness and precision, you see. The rule does not mean that we sit in anticipation for supernatural punishment falling beyond or upon another person within 24 hours. It does not mean that we celebrate suffering. It does not mean that we attempt to send harm back toward anyone. It does not mean that we threaten people by claiming that misfortune will immediately befall them. That would be irresponsible, you see. That would be spiritually arrogant. And that would contradict the principles of truth and nonviolence upon which this initiative must stand. The instant 24 karma rule establishes a doctrine of accelerated attention and retained responsibility. It affirms that no innocent member shall be forced to carry another person's wrongdoing. It affirms that responsibility remains attached to the choices that produced the harm. It affirms that credible reports involving danger, sabotage, exploitation, or continuing interference should receive an initial protective response without unnecessary delay, ordinarily within 24 hours whenever circumstances allow. It means that we do not wait until a member's life has collapsed before we begin to listen. We do not wait until evidence disappears. We do not wait until the harm becomes irreversible. We do not wait until the affected person has lost everything before declaring the matter serious. The first 24 hours can be critical. Accounts may need to be secured. Messages may need to be preserved. Access may need to be restricted. A safe space or place may need to be identified. A supervisor may need to be notified. A legal authority may need to be contacted. A witness may need to document what they observed. A person in crisis may need professional support. Immediate action does not mean immediate judgment. It means immediate care. It means immediate preservation. It means immediate protection. And it means refusing to treat credible harm as an inconvenience. The sacred code associated with the decree is 144, 24, 6, and 9. These numbers provide a symbolic architecture for the values of the decree, we see. 144 represents the collective. It represents unity, organized through purpose. It reminds us that the individual and the whole are connected. It tells us that the member does not become disposable merely because they are injured, delayed, confused, or temporarily unstable or unable, to perform at their former capacity. Now, 24 represents immediate accountability, you see. It represents the complete cycle of a day and the expectation of prompt attention. It reminds us that urgency and fairness can indeed coexist. We can protect first and investigate carefully. We can preserve evidence without declaring guilt. We can establish temporary boundaries without imposing permanent condemnation. Now, 6 represents restoration and responsibility. It is a central numerical foundation of the decree. The 6 pillars are safety, truth, stability, reputation, opportunity, alignment. Safety asks, is this person protected from continuing harm? Truth asks, what actually happened? Stability asks, what must be restored so the person can function again? Reputation asks, what false narrative or damaged record must be corrected? Opportunity asks, what was unjustly taken, obstructed, or delayed? Alignment asks, how does the member return to purpose without remaining defined by the injury? Now, these pillars are not abstract. They create a practical framework for restoration. A person cannot return to alignment if they remain unsafe. A person cannot rebuild stability while false information continues to circulate. A person cannot regain confidence while the structure that harmed them remains unchanged. A person cannot be made whole if the only remedy offered is advice to forget what happened. Restoration must be tangible. Now, 9 represents completion. It represents the ending of a destructive cycle. But completion does not always mean that every question has been answered. Sometimes completion means that the truth has been established and a proper authority has assumed responsibility. Sometimes it means that the affected member has been relocated, restored, or reintegrated. Sometimes it means that the harmful relationship has indeed ended. Sometimes it means that restitution has been made. Sometimes it means that the member has regained enough strength to move forward without waiting for the offender's remorse. Completion means the harmful event no longer governs the future. That is the victory. Not revenge, not public humiliation, not obsession with the responsible party. The victory is that the affected member rises beyond the reach of the disruption. The victory is that their calling survives. The victory is that their dignity is restored. The victory is that what was intended to destroy them becomes incapable of defining them. I'll say it again. The victory is that what was intended to destroy them becomes incapable of defining them. My beloved collective, we must also speak with intellectual honesty about the phrase dark forces. There are times when people use spiritual language to describe harmful patterns, destructive influences, manipulation, coercion, or coordinated opposition. But we must not allow broad spiritual language to replace careful understanding. Sometimes the source of harm is a person acting from greed. Sometimes it is insecurity. Sometimes it is addiction. Sometimes it is professional jealousy. Sometimes it is abuse of authority. Sometimes it is a dysfunctional family system. Sometimes it is an institution protecting itself. Sometimes it is a criminal act. Sometimes it is an untreated instability. Sometimes it is an understanding that escalated because no one communicated honestly. And sometimes we may never immediately know. Therefore, our response must be grounded. We do not diagnose strangers from a distance. We do not turn intuition into a conviction. We do not label every opposition or opponent evil. We do not interpret every obstacle as sabotage. We do not declare every delay as spiritual attack. Discernment requires restraint. The stronger our convictions become, the more disciplined our evidence must become as well. This decree is unapologetic in its protection of members, but it is equally apologetic in its demand for truth. False allegations can indeed destroy lives. Fabricated evidence can corrupt institutions. Misused spiritual language can become a weapon. And a person who knowingly manipulates this decree to intimidate, silence, control, or punish another must also face accountability. Protection cannot depend on abandoning fairness. The innocent must be protected from every angle, every side, every area. This decree is not a sword placed into the hands of anger. It is a shield governed by wisdom. It is a process. It is a covenant of responsibility. It is an acknowledgement that harm must be met with more than inspirational language. And it is a warning that the chosen collective will not romanticize suffering that could have been prevented. Too many people have been taught that enduring mistreatment proves spiritual strength. Too many have been told to remain silent to preserve family unity. Too many have been told to tolerate professional exploitation because they should be grateful for access. Too many have been instructed to forgive before anyone has even acknowledged the harm. Too many have been asked to remain peaceful while another person continues to violate every reasonable boundary. That is not peace. That is abandonment disguised as virtue. True peace requires truth. True forgiveness does not eliminate accountability. True compassion does not require continued access. True superiority does not demand that a person remain available to those who repeatedly harm them. There are moments when love requires distance. There are moments when healing requires silence. There are moments when restoration requires legal intervention. There are moments when wisdom requires the closing of a door. And there are moments when the most aligned response is not confrontation, but complete withdrawal from the pattern. The decree allows for these realities. It does not demand one identical remedy for every case. It recognizes that restoration may involve reconciliation when accountability and change are genuine. But it also recognizes that restoration may involve permanent separation. The goal is not to preserve every relationship. The goal is to preserve truth, safety, dignity, and purpose. I also speak directly to those who may have caused harm. Accountability is not the end of your humanity. Being required to answer for your conduct does not automatically mean that you are beyond transformation. But transformation begins where denial ends. It begins when excuses stop. It begins when the injured person is no longer blamed for reacting to the harm. It begins when remorse becomes more than language. It begins when restitution is made. It begins when access is surrendered where trust has been violated. It begins when a person accepts that forgiveness cannot be demanded. It begins when change becomes measurable. Now, no one is entitled to restoration of reputation without restoration of conduct. No one is entitled to immediate trust after repeated betrayal. No one is entitled to remain in leadership merely because accountability feels humiliating. And no one may use their own wounded history as permission to wound others. Pain can explain behavior. It cannot indefinitely excuse it. The chosen collective must become mature enough to hold both truths. A person may have suffered deeply, and the person may still be responsible for the harm they cause. Compassion without boundaries becomes enabling. Boundaries without compassion can become cruelty. Our task is to hold both. Now, this is the intellectual and moral discipline required of us. I speak now to the member who believes their moment has passed. The member who thinks too much time was lost. The member who has watched others advance while they struggled to recover. The member who wonders whether the disruption succeeded. Hear me clearly. Delay is not the same as defeat. Displacement is not the same as destruction. An uninterrupted path is not the same as a canceled purpose. Your life is not over because the timeline changed. Your contribution is not meaningless because another person attempted to suppress it. Your future does not belong to those who injured your past. You may need a new strategy. You may need new relationships. You may need new training. You may need rest. You may need professional care. You may need to rebuild quietly before you rise publicly. But you are not finished. This decree cannot magically replace every lost year. It cannot guarantee that every opportunity will return in its original form. It cannot force every responsible person to admit the truth. But it can establish that the collective will no longer normalize abandonment. It can create a path toward assistance. It can affirm that injury deserves response. It can protect evidence. It can require review. It can organize resources. It can correct what can be corrected. It can restore what can be restored. And it can help the member build a future that no longer depends upon the cooperation of those who caused the harm. That is sacred work. Restoration is not sentimental. Restoration is structural. It is housing. It is legal support. It is financial stability. It is employment continuity. It is counseling. It is secure records. It is reputation repair. It is safe community. It is opportunity. It is time. It is patience. It is disciplined follow-through. And it is the refusal to speak beautifully about healing while refusing to fund or organize it. The chosen collective must become a people capable of practical compassion. A meal, a safe room, a referral, a witness statement, a corrected document, a restored position, a protected account, a professional introduction, a new opportunity, a period of paid recovery, a confidential advocate. Now, these may appear ordinary, but in the life of an affected member, they may become the bridge between collapse and restoration. We must become attentive to that bridge. My beloved collective, I also proclaim that unity cannot mean forced closeness. There may be people within that wider community from whom a member must remain separated. There may be individuals who require rehabilitation before they may return to positions of trust. There may be cases in which restoration of the victim and reintegration of the responsible party cannot occur in the same environment. We must not pressure survivors to participate in another person's redemption. We must not make the injured responsible for proving that they are spiritually evolved by reopening access. Again. We must not make the injured responsible for proving that they are spiritually evolved by reopening access. Reconciliation is not always required for closure. Forgiveness is not the same as reunion. Compassion is not the same as trust. And release is not the same as restoration of relationship. The affected member must retain appropriate agency in the restoration process. They must be heard. They must be informed. They must not be used as a symbol while decisions are made around them. They must not be silenced because their pain complicates the public narrative. And they must not be treated as disloyal because they name what occurred. At the same time, the collective must avoid turning another person's suffering into spectacle. Not every case belongs on a public platform, you see. Not every detail belongs in a broadcast. Not every allegation should be circulated. Confidentiality is also protection. Dignity is also justice. There are truths that must be addressed without being consumed as public content. The decree, therefore, demands secure records, restricted access, conflict of interest protections, qualified review, and appropriate referrals. This is how we build an institution worthy of trust not by claiming perfection, but by creating responsible systems for the moments when people fail. I remain unapologetic in declaring that members of the chosen collective deserve protection. I remain unapologetic in declaring that sabotage must not be rewarded. I remain unapologetic in declaring that false records should be corrected. I remain unapologetic in declaring that opportunities stolen through proven misconduct should be restored or replaced. I remain unapologetic in declaring that abusers should lose access to those they continue to harm. I remain unapologetic in declaring that no member should be required to carry another person's guilt. But I am equally unapologetic in declaring that we will not answer darkness with darkness. We will not become violent. We will not become lawless. We will not become obsessed with punishment. We will not celebrate suffering. We will not mistake cruelty for strength. We will not build our identity around enemies. We will not surrender our moral center in the name of spiritual warfare. Our power will be demonstrated in our restraint. Our authority will be demonstrated in our fairness. Our wisdom will be demonstrated in our ability to protect without persecuting. Our unity will be demonstrated in our willingness to restore the wounded. And our victory will be demonstrated when members who were once destabilized stand again with greater clarity, stronger boundaries, renewed purpose, and an unshakable understanding of their own worth. This decree is therefore a promise that no credible cry for help should disappear into silence, a promise that no affected member should be treated as inconvenient, a promise that leadership will be required to respond, a promise that allegations will be examined with seriousness and fairness, a promise that restoration will be pursued, a promise that accountability will remain attached to conduct, a promise that truth will not be sacrificed for appearances, a promise that unity will not be manipulated into silence, a promise that no one among us will be declared disposable. To the chosen collective, I say, stand beside one another, but do not become reckless. Believe the possibility of harm, but investigate carefully. Protect the vulnerable, but do not condemn without evidence. Support restoration, but do not control the person being restored. Practice compassion, but maintain boundaries. Pursue accountability, but reject vengeance. Honor spiritual discernment, but remain grounded in truth. Recognize patterns, but do not create enemies from imagination. Be courageous enough to confront wrongdoing, and be humble enough to correct yourselves when you are wrong. This is the balance. This is the maturity. This is the higher standard. The era ahead will require more than inspirational declarations. It will require systems, training, financial commitment, professional partnerships, emotionally mature leaders, members capable of telling the truth without exaggeration, communities capable of hearing difficult truths without collapsing into factions. And it will require us to understand that protection is not a single action. Protection is a culture. It is what we normalize. It is what we refuse. It is how quickly we respond. It is how carefully we investigate. It is how faithfully we restore. It is how honestly we review our own failures. And it is how determined we remain to prevent the next member from suffering the same harm. This is why the decree matters. Because protection without restoration leaves the injured person alive but still displaced. Accountability without restoration may punish conduct but fail to rebuild life. Restoration without truth may become superficial. Truth without compassion may become cold. Compassion without accountability may preserve the conditions of harm. The decree joins them together. Truth, protection, restoration, accountability, unity, and nonviolence. These are not competing principles. They are the complete architecture of justice. So today, before the chosen collective, I formally affirm any member negatively affected by forced misalignment, malicious disruption, coercion, sabotage, exploitation, intimidation, or deliberate obstruction within their personal or professional life shall be entitled to a fair and organized process of protection and restoration. Any verified loss shall be examined for correction. Any stolen opportunity shall be examined for reinstatement or replacement. Any false record shall be examined for amendment. Any continuing danger shall be met with immediate protective action. Any credible allegation shall receive careful review. I'll say it again. Any credible allegation shall receive careful review. Any responsible party shall remain accountable for their own conduct. And any affected member shall be reminded that their destiny does not belong to the person who attempted to disrupt it. The sacred code remains. 144, we stand as one. 24, we respond without unnecessary delay. 6, we restore safety, truth, stability, reputation, opportunity, and alignment. 9, we bring destructive cycles toward completion. And our collective declaration remains also: an attack against one is an attack against all. But let the world understand the quality of our response. We will not respond with rumor. We will respond with truth. We will not respond with chaos. We will respond with structure. We will not respond with vengeance. We will respond with accountability. We will not respond with abandonment. We will respond with restoration. We will not respond with hatred. We will respond with discipline and protection. We will not respond by becoming darkness. We will respond by ensuring that darkness does not determine the future of those it attempted to harm. To every wounded member, rise at the pace your healing requires. Rebuild without shame. Accept assistance without feeling diminished. Protect your peace without apology. Document the truth. Seek qualified support. Release the belief that you must suffer silently to prove your strength. You are not dishonored by needing restoration, by the way. You are not weak because the harm was real. And you are not forgotten. To every leader, your authority will be measured by what happens after a member reports harm. Not by your speeches, not by your titles, not by your image, by your response. Did you listen? Did you preserve evidence? Did you protect the vulnerable? Did you avoid premature judgment? Did you refer the matter appropriately? Did you prevent retaliation? Did you follow through? Did you restore what could be restored? These questions will determine whether our institutions deserve the trust placed within them. To every person who has caused harm, you may still choose truth. You may still accept responsibility. You may still cooperate with restitution. You may still surrender access you no longer deserve. You may still begin the difficult work of transformation. But you may not demand that the injured person carry the cost of your redemption. The work belongs to you and to the entire chosen collective. Let this become worthy of the word collective. Let us be more than individuals gathered under one name. Let us become a people who understand that purpose flourishes where safety exists, that truth flourishes where fear is removed, that healing flourishes where harm is acknowledged, that accountability flourishes where no one is above review, and that unity flourishes where no member is sacrificed for convenience. We answer darkness with truth. We answer disruption with restoration. We answer fear with protection. We answer misconduct with accountability. We answer division with disciplined unity. We stand together. We restore what can be restored. We correct what can be corrected. We replace what cannot be returned. We learn from what was neglected. We protect the next person more effectively. And we move forward without surrendering our humanity. This decree is proclaimed not merely for the moment of attack, but for the life that must continue afterward, for the mourning after the crisis, for the rebuilding after the loss, for the purpose after the delay, for the identity after the manipulation, for the future after the obstruction, for the member who will one day look back and realize what was intended to end me did not possess the authority to define me. I was protected. I was believed enough to be heard. I was respected enough to receive a fair process. I was supported enough to rebuild. I was strong enough to rise. And I was never truly alone. This is our covenant. This is our standard. This is our responsibility. And this is the meaning of collective restoration, a protection of accountable unity. And this is the decree. An attack against one is an attack against all. Restore the affected. Protect the collective. Return responsibility to its proper source. Complete the cycle in truth, wisdom, dignity, and nonviolence. So declared, so proclaimed, so established, and so we shall proceed. I am Sébastianus Christiani Alvérius, the chosen leader, his divine one, chosen leader and divine shepherd of the 144,000, and chairman and chief executive officer of Tnti Initiative, Inc. May truth govern our judgment. May compassion govern our restoration. May discipline govern our power. May wisdom govern our accountability. And may no member of the chosen collective ever again believe that they must face deliberate harm entirely alone. Ashe.
The shift has begun. Alignment is no longer optional.
By divine appointment, the voice of the collective rises. TNTI Global Media, 7 divisions, 1 mission. To create, to inform, to inspire. From news and...
From the heart of the sun, a chosen light rises. The child of the sun.
There comes a moment when presence alone shifts the world. Harmony, compassion, justice, not ideals, the foundation of what comes next.
Said I was crazy because they couldn't see what I see. I'm making a difference. I finally see it. The world is ready, and I was made for this.
Morning, this city wakes with a million lights, but none of them matter if we hide who we are. Authenticity is the one thing they cannot replicate. When we choose to be real, and when that change begins, it spreads faster than any signal in these towers. It turns strangers into neighbors, and cities into homes. That's the future I'm standing for.
All right, listen up. Lock in real quick. This isn't a drill. This isn't a vibe checkpoint. This is the actual moment everything flips. We're standing in the middle of a world that's low-key glitching. Systems breaking, people buffering, the whole planet throwing error codes. And right now we're shifting from the old version, 5K, into something bigger, cleaner, stronger, the 6ORL update. The W5K6 World Initiative is the patch that keeps reality from crashing. It's the blueprint, the roadmap, the whole survival DLC, no cap. This transition is happening whether anyone's ready or not. But here's the twist. We don't make it through unless the people who get it step up. That's you. If you're hearing this, you're part of the squad. This isn't about being chosen or special. This is about locking in, syncing up, and doing your part so the entire world doesn't hit game over. Because there's no more continues. 5K6 World is the bridge. We move as one, we shift the timeline, and we land in the new world fully loaded, fully awake, no fear, no lag, no hesitation. So breathe, focus, and stay frosty. Because the transformation is no longer in beta. It's already here, and it's happening right now. So let's get litty. W5K6 World, the transitional world between frequencies.
The shadow is not destroyed. It is disciplined.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I got in? Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe it. Believe it. You earned this.
Hello?
Hello, this is the Office of Admissions at Arcane Collegium. I'm pleased to inform you that you've been accepted.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations. This place is unreal.
Feels like we stepped into a storybook, and we're in it now.
You ready?
More than ever.
At Arcane Collegium, your journey begins the moment opportunity finds you. One decision, one message, one future. Welcome to Arcane Collegium. Advancing mind, advancing humanity.
What if science was only half the equation?
Arcane Collegium, expanding knowledge beyond the visible.
They teach you what to think. We teach you how to think.
Memorize. Repeat. Graduate. Or understand. Adapt. Lead. Choose differently.
I am a chosen one. I am a chosen one. A divine being of light. Of all mankind.
And the definitive enforcer of the universe's advancements for the betterment of all mankind.
For the betterment of all mankind.
One by one, they awaken. Heart steady, purpose clear, synchronize. They are no longer awakening. They are now activated.
Funny when they think you don't matter. Funny when they think you won't rise. But everything changes, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
A lineage of power, refined for a new era. Power in its purest form.
People are not failing. They're unaligned. This is not a talk show, it's a system. Begin your alignment.
They knew better, but chose otherwise. Now, they face themselves. Alignment or nothing.
Deadline's at 8.
Chaos doesn't have to run the show. What if you had a framework that made space for the truth?
I didn't realize how much I was carrying.
3 men, 1 transformation. 1 still stuck in the past. 1 searching for love. And 1 trying to keep it all together. The GNPs, where growth gets messy.
Let me tell you, man, you still shout like you're on base.
And you still sip like it's tea time. Look at you.
Somebody's got to keep you 2 in line.
Good luck.
The GNPs, coming October 12th.
Who am I? Beneath everything. Some things don't stay buried. To find God, he must face himself.
For generations, the world searched in the dark. Now the light is taking over. A new earth is being formed, guided by the Most High. Healing is rising.
The age of disorder has run its course. The light is now taking over the earth. A new earth is in development, overseen by the Most High. What was misaligned will be corrected. The transition is irreversible.
The chosen do not stand above humanity. They stand with it. Forgiveness is here. You are released. You are welcome.
When the world demanded truth, only the real could stand. Who are you when nothing can be hidden? Only the aligned rise.
For ages, darkness claimed authority over the earth. That era is ending. The light is now taking over. A new earth is in development, overseen by the Most High. The transition.
I'm ready.
Before humanity remembers, guardians were placed among them. Sovereigns, primordials, healers, guardians, messengers, placed among humanity and the light they carry.
True leadership is not seen, it is felt. This is the director.
Across galaxies, across time, a federation stands watch. Not as rulers, but as guard. They stood unseen until we were ready to see. And now, the veil is lifted. All across the world, we looked up together. And for the first time, we felt safe. They are not coming. They have always been here.
The Pillar of 7.
Together, we are the Pillar of Seven, officers of our beloved chosen leader. For every soul who calls this place home, together we rise.
In the glow of renewal, we are reminded that service is not a burden, but a gift. Let us rise as the phoenix does, not merely remind us that from ash, hope is born again. We do not carry this light alone. Together, we keep it alive.
Remove the act. Control the pace. Balance the self. Suavity isn't worn. It's embodied.
That verse changed everything for me. It reminded me that even in the deepest shadow, light can catch a soul and turn it toward purpose. I was not born a leader. I was broken.
Gentlemen, members of the press, visionaries across the world, this is a defining moment, a moment that will decide if we remain divided in scarcity or rise together in abundance.
Here, the starseed ascendancy reflects the journey of souls who came from beyond the stars. Centers of peace and quiet radiance where their memory continues to guide.
A compass from God. Even as a kid, you felt it warn you. Sometimes it saved you from what hurt others. It lets you see through people, stay a step ahead, dream warnings, sense spirits. The
year begins with light. March 20, 1st becomes new January 1st. The birth of the year, the ceremonial spark of creation. 10 true months follow the sky's own rhythm.
We are the 144th, grounded in the bones of this world. We hold, for those behind us, for those before us, for the land itself. We do not break, we are the grounds of...
Rubin Robotics, AI-driven automation, Simian Security, Fierce Cyber Defense, Levi Learning, Teaching the Tech Age, Judah Ventures, Backing Renewables, Dan Diagnostics.
Our race's universal mission, the rise, resonance, and revolution of a divine movement, pioneered by the TNT Initiative, a visionary work available.
A new chapter takes its place. The legacy rises.
But divinity was never confined. Unmask, align, rise.
This is Forbes Breaking. Sébastianus Christiani Alvérius, known in business circles as the chosen leader, is officially the richest black man on the planet. Forbes now values his wealth at...
At dawn, a current stirs beneath the city, an energy present in all of us. When it rises in alignment, clarity emerges. The Kundalini Alignment Division of the Institute of Sacred Cohort Governance. Join a network of leaders shaping a balanced future. Enrollment for the next cohort is now open. Apply today and bring your power into alignment.
Trust is not given. Trust is earned. Through visibility, through accountability, through participation. Because trust is built in the open. Explore every line, follow every dollar, shape every decision at nyc.gov/transparency. Because
we have a choice, react or reflect. When we pause, we find space to see each other. Together, we build what anger never could. Rise in.
On behalf of the TNT Initiative, we affirm a single covenant. Every person safeguarded, every violation answered. This is our protection, uncompromised and enduring.
If it works here, it works everywhere. New York is proving a city can be net zero, sovereign, and thriving. Solar gardens rise above the streets. Food growth. Join the mission. Be part of the change that keeps New York moving, growing, and glowing. Net zero. Because the future starts with us.
From the skyline of New York City, a new command center for global communication emerges. The TNT Initiative Broadcast Headquarters, where ideas, leadership, and innovation.
The future isn't waiting for us. It's being built right now. Together, we'll carry it forward.
Connect Frame Habitat Systems. Homes that grow with life. Expandable, adaptable, regional. Your home, your style. Building the future of living is allowing you to begin to can. Designed for everyday life. Configurable at your fingertips. See how your future fits at connectframe.com.
Easier. In a world where every region has a purpose, knowing where the chosen are is vital. Until now, estimating how many chosen ones exist in each region was
The Global Maturity Matrix, measuring civilizational stability across 8.1 billion lives. From the veins of a city to the lives within it, the matrix captures real-time signals of stability. Every pulse, every choice, shapes the strength of the whole. Together, they light the path forward, reminding us that flexibility is not weakness, but wisdom. When communities share knowledge and respond as one, resilience matures into something greater.
When you let the weight fall away, you discover the power that's always been within you. Choose freedom. Choose creation. The future is yours.
Rank is not claimed. It is earned, tested, and entrusted. The gates of the Collegium open at the solstice. Will you ascend?
Humanity stands at the threshold of a new era. The old world is fading. A new civilization is rising. This is the transformational age. Together, we are shaping a planet that thrives, where technology and nature, innovation and compassion move as one. This is the transformational age, and the journey is only beginning. Together, we'll write the next chapter, one of possibility, responsibility, and shared.
Connection, understanding, trust, listening, and more. Together they form 12 new ways the heart can be heard, 12 languages that let love speak for us all. And when those voices join, the world listens.
You're a liar.
Delete your account.
Pathetic.
Stop talking.
This is trash. Don't believe Fake news. Shut it down. Cancel them. You're done.
Worthless clown.
It's all fake. Noise spreads quickly online. Truth takes time. Think about what you're sending into the world. Pause before you post.
Karmics repeat patterns, create drama, and test boundaries. They influence others, often unconsciously, through shadow behaviors. Structured boundaries and awareness neutralize disruption. Healing, phase, boundaries, transformation. Take the step. Begin your healing. We're here when you're ready.
In a world that moves so fast, these are the moments that matter most. Love, connection, family is everything. All life and trust are algae, heartwood. Because family is everything. That same love follows us inside, in the quiet moments, in the laughter we can't hold back. It's the stories we share and the arms that keep behaved. And in this light, we know we're exactly where we belong.
From resilience to readiness, from vision to victory. Haiti Ascends 2060, rising beyond boundaries. Discover the journey. Join the rise. Visit Haiti2060.ht.
From our roots, we rise. From our dreams, we build. Haiti Ascends 2060. A future forged in unity and powered by our people. From the spark of every idea to the hands that build tomorrow, this is our time. Together.
Humanity stands on the brink, preparing for the great transformation of 2045. The future is ours to shape. When we look out there, we see not only what is, but what could be. The unknown is calling, and together, we will answer.
For centuries, discovery and inner wisdom were seen as separate paths. When science examines energy and spirituality explores consciousness with clarity, and in this union we begin to see the planet, our shared home, through new eyes as both a question and an answer. Here, discovery becomes devotion, knowledge becomes compassion.
Let's build on it.
See the layers?
That's brilliant.
Love this crew. Knowledge is the new sexy.
That was clean.
You two are showing off now.
Hey, it's contagious.
That's the point. Look at us, lighting up the block. And we just got started.
Brains. Bold. Timeless.
Men are ordinary. Jonathan is extraordinary, a man of honor, a man of vision, a man who inspires by simply being himself. This is the man who changed.
You always pick the good stuff. It's all you. Your laugh makes anything better. Come here. Love you. Love you too.
Morning came fast, huh?
Yeah, but we made it on time.
Hi, Mama. There's my boys. I saved you some corn. It smells amazing out here. Wait till you taste it. Everyone, grab a plate. Food's ready.
Let's eat before the kids run off with all the rolls.
Looks like half the city had the same idea. Good day for it.
Grandma, can we go swimming? Of course, baby. Just stay where we can see you and watch the waves, okay?
Okay. Have fun, sport.
You know, I was thinking about that anniversary trip you two keep talking about, the one to Haiti and Jamaica, helping build clinics.
Yeah, we still haven't nailed down a date.
I figured. Work keeps getting in the way. But you should go. You do so much good, and I know how much to say.
You know it's for the love on your mother. I sure am. That's my fortune today is fair than yours. You're gonna make us blush.
Feel good. The world needs more of this kind of blush.
I think we're gonna make a great team, no matter where we go.
Men are ordinary. Jonathan is extraordinary, a man of honor, a man of vision, a man who inspires by simply being himself. This is the man who changed.
You always pick the good stuff. It's all you. Your laugh makes anything better. Come here. Love you. Love you too. Thinking how, for a long time, I didn't believe I deserved this. You. Us. Hey, you do. Every bit of it. And I'm not letting go. Thank you. For not giving up on me. There's nothing to give up on. It's you. Always you. I love you. Love you more. Good night, Seb. Good night, John. You know, I get scared too. I keep thinking one day you'll see all the cracks and wonder why you stayed. Seb. But then we're here and I realize it's the cracks that let you in. That's what makes us. Us. Exactly. I hate to understand. That's never gonna happen, you know? I believe you. Sleep, love. With you I can.
Every choice, no matter how small, sets the tone for the world around us. Together, we can live by the code. Visit conductcodex.com to begin. The change starts with you.
Broadcasting from the Sovereign Broadcast Command, the Global Center for Leadership, Communication, and Alignment.
This is the Sovereign Broadcast Command. Stay aligned. Stay informed.
I got it! I'm certified!
Guidance deserves integrity. The International Board of Ethical Divination certifies those who serve with wisdom, responsibility,
and together, we are turning ideas into action. Thank you for being part of the movement.
Something is changing. The systems you know are no longer enough. A new structure is being built. Alignment, abundance, evolution, continuity. Enter and begin.